Hello, second grade scholars. Welcome back to CGI. Today is Tuesday, March 24th, and it is hello Barnard Bears, hello NYU Bobcats, and hello Columbia Lions. Just make sure you're washing your hands at home and count really slowly to 20. Alright, let's get started. I will be moving around my webcam, and sometimes I won't be there at all because it's covering a lot of the things. So right now our story is about cans. And what about cans? Well, we're going to talk about turning cans into pots for plants. And who are we talking about today? We are talking about none other than Miss Severino. So here we go. Miss Severino collected 154 cans for a second grade project. She gives 26 to Miss Park and 65 to Miss Hildebrand. How many cans does she have left? So again, we're going to read it one more time. Miss Severino collects 154 cans for a second grade project. She gives 26 to Miss Park and 65 to Miss Hildebrand. How many cans does she have left? This is the part where you usually pause to retell. So let's go over some key rules. First of all, you're going to pause the video when I say so, and you're going to need to retell this story. Again, it doesn't need to be the same exact word for word. If you don't remember, go back a couple minutes on the video so you can actually reread it. Now pause it and give it a try. Did you retell? If you didn't quite get it, again, go back a couple minutes, try again. It's absolutely fine. So, this is the part where we're going to look at this word problem like it's a 3-read problem. We're going to go step by step and look into the important parts. So right now, we're going to read it once. It says read the problem. So yes, we're going to read it again. This time you can read it with me. Miss Severino collected 154 cans for a second grade project. She gives 26 to Miss Park. She gives 65 to Miss Hildebrand. How many cans does she have left? So for our second time, we're going to reread the problem again. Miss Severino collected 154 cans for a second grade project. She gives 26 to Miss Park and 65 to Miss Hildebrand. How many cans does she have left? Now, we need to focus on what do we know? What information does the story give you? Let's start off with what Miss Severino does because it's in the beginning of the story. So, Miss Severino collected 154 cans for a second grade project. So, what we have is Miss Severino collected 154 cans. Next part we know is that she gave some to Miss Park. How many? 26. Next part is she gave 65 to Miss Hildebrand. Now we need to think about what is the question asking you to do. What are we doing with all of these numbers? First thing I looked at was the word give. So Miss Severino had 154 cans, but now she gives Miss Park and Miss Hildebrand 26 and 65. I didn't actually have a circle around it, but the other word that I looked at was the word and, because you're doing two different things on this problem, just like yesterday. That and is right between these two numbers, and I want you to think about that. Last thing you need to know and think about is what is the question asking you? How many cans does she have left? It's not asking you how many cans Miss Severino has. It's not asking you how many cans did she give away. It's asking you how many cans does she have left, Miss Severino. So I'm going to put a little arrow on that just so you can keep in mind. So right now you're going to pause this in a little bit and give me a thumbs up and thumbs down. Here is the problem. Now the question is, does Miss Severino have more or less than 154 cans left? Again, you're doing a thumbs up for more and a thumbs down for less. So right now in 3, in 2, and 1, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Good job. You ready? Now you need to pause and tell me why. Why did you pick a thumbs up or why did you pick a thumbs down? I think Miss Severino has more than 150 cans left because. I think Miss Severino has less than 154 cans because. So pause it right now and tell me. Alright, so the first thing that we know is that Miss Severino has 154 cans. I showed that with this bar graph right here. And I'm going to show you that by writing 154 right on top. Then she gives, so we're not adding on to this bar, we're actually taking away from this bar because she's giving it away. She gives 26 to Miss Park. So I showed that with this green bar right here. And I'm showing that that is 26 with a little bracket on the bottom and writing Miss Park and 26. Then we need to do the part of Miss Hildebrand. So Miss Severino not only gives to me, but she also gives to Miss Hildebrand. So we need to show that. I'm going to represent that with a light green bar right here. And the bracket to show Miss Hildebrand right on the bottom. So then we're trying to look for the difference right here. This part that is empty. This again looks like our part whole model from yesterday. But I added one more thing to show you something. If you add all the parts together, you get the whole. If you only have one part, you would need to subtract. If you have both parts, you would need to add these together and then subtract. So now, what I want you to do is, in a little bit, you're going to pause the video. I also put yesterday's work up to show you examples. You are not solving this problem. You are solving this problem right here. So make sure to solve this one. Your numbers that you are using are 154 cans and 26 to Miss Park and 65 to Miss Hildebrand. These are examples of what we did yesterday, and you can draw from what we did yesterday. Make sure you have a word sentence and a number sentence, and you can do this on any type of white paper you have. So pause and try it now. Are you ready to check your work?
Okay, so the first method we can do is just vertical. So right now I'm going to start the first number right here. So for minus 6, we can't do that, so we are going to regroup. So the 5 is going to turn into a 4 in the 10th place, and the 4 is turning into a 14. So it's 14 minus 6, which equals 8. Then for minus 2, we actually do not need to regroup, so it's a 2 and a 1. So that's my first part. Now we can actually take my next number. And 8 minus 5 is 3. Look, yes, we do not need to regroup, but here we do. So 12 minus 6 is 6. So the final answer I got for this one is 63 right now. So it's saying that our question mark is a 63. But let's see. So we're going to move on to the next part. So unlike the first one, for this part, we are going to start off by adding the parts together. So the first part that we have is 26, and the second part that we have is 65. So we're going to add these two parts together, and we get 6 plus 5 is 11. I'm going to carry that 1 so that we can regroup it. 6 plus 2 plus 1, 6 plus 2 is 8, 8 plus 1 is 9. So those are our two parts put together. Now we're going to take that and we're going to subtract it from our whole. So this is our whole, and we're going to take that and subtract it so we can get our answer. So let us look. So if I take this right now, 154 minus 91, 4 minus 1 is 3. Can't do the 5 and the 9, so we're going to regroup. It's 15 and 9, which becomes 6. So right right now we're on the correct track because both of ours came up with 63.
That was our first method. Now we're going to go on to our second method. So then our next starts with our hundreds, tens, and ones drawing. So I already have the hundreds written. I'm going to write the tens and the ones. And again, my hundreds is with boxes. So they're showing you a big 100. So it comes out to 154 is our whole. So right now I'm going to start with one big box for our hundreds. Our tens is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I like to draw in rows of 5. And our ones, which I'm going to just draw it in circles. The boxes are taking a little too long. And then we're going to subtract our first number, which is in this green. My first number, I like to write it that we are first subtracting. And our first number is 26. So I'm going to start on the one side because, again, if you need to take away or regroup or borrow, then you need to go to the tens place. So you need to start on the ones. Right now we only have 4. So I'm actually going to cross one of these out. And I'm going to draw a group of 10 here, just like a 10 frame. Because we took a bar that is a full 10, and then we broke it apart just like our Unifix cubes. And we made a group of 10. So now we're going to cross off 6. I want to take away the 4, 5, 6. So right now I have 5, 6, 7, 8 left over here. Now I can take 2 away here. I actually have enough to take 2 away, so I'm going to prop it up nice and largely to go, yep, that's gone. And we're going to leave that 100 alone because there's nothing there. Our second number that we have to take away is 65. So right now on our ones place, we do have 5. I can take away a whole group of 5. So that's good. So we need to take 6 away here. We only have 2 left. So what we need to do is go to the hundred place. Once this 100 apart, which actually has 10 dollars in here, and we're going to use it. And again, I'm going to draw it in groups of 5. And 2 groups of 5 is 2. I'm going to cross out 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then whatever we have left should be our answer. There's only 3 left here. There is 5, 6 left here. So our answer is 63. Alright, and our last method was the think subtraction or the arrow or like the number line way. You can do it in any type of way possible. For the arrow way, what you can do is something like this, where it looks like you start off with 154, you're trying to subtract 26. What you're technically doing is you're taking away 20, and it gets you down to 134. And then you're taking away 4, and you get 130. And then you can take away 2 more, and you get 128. Which is the arrow way. Which you're putting it the same way, but you're just doing it like this. For the think way, minus 2 equals 128, and this middle all adds up to 26. Then we're going to add, to move up just a tidbit, then we are going to do the next set, which this one needs to add up to 65, and you're starting with this number. 128, you're going to take away, I'm thinking we should take away a 20, so we can get down to 108. Then maybe we should take away a 5. To
get to 103, but that's 25 right now. So what we did was, we took away a 20, we got down to 45. We took away a 5, now we're down to 40. And now I'm thinking, should just subtract the full 40 because I know 100 minus 40. So for my advanced scholars out there, you can take away the full 40 and you would get down to 63. And that would be your answer.
So, what we ended up with is Miss Severino collected 154 cans for a second grade project. She gives 26 to Miss Park and 65 to Miss Hildebrand. How many cans does she have left? The number sentences can vary. There's different number sentences. Some of you might put a question mark or a box where you don't know the answer. You can either do it in subtraction or addition because it's fluid. It goes back and forth. If you have 154 minus 26 minus 65 equals question mark, that's the same thing as saying 26 plus 65 plus a number equals 154. You can do the same word problem with the number in it. I actually put it in a red color so you can see, this is the answer that we actually didn't know that we found. Maybe you can put a box around it so that you can tell me that was the unknown. Then your word sentence is, Miss Severino has 63 cans left. You need to tell me what, and you need to tell me the part that she has left. Because she didn't receive 65 cans, she didn't give 65 cans, that's how much cans she has left. Alright, scholars, see you tomorrow. Thank you.